So at Michigan, and I got to remember what year this is. So my car chief at that time was Pierre Coutel, PK.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And he went on to do great things.
And this was a 75 car.
This would have been the 75 car.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? And so we were in the garage area after last practice. And Michigan is 1 on gas mileage. So it's kind of simple. You want to inflate the fuel cell as large as you can inflate, like stretch it. So what we do is, at that time, we would put tack welds, put air into the fuel cell. Those tack welds would break and the fuel cell would expand because it's contracted by the metal that's around it. So it's a pretty simple process, right? So we had these flapper valves on the vent on the rear of the car. And sometimes they worked really well. Sometimes they didn't work as well. And you typically would have a hole in it, like an 1/8-inch drill bit hole that would help the thing just vent. Because you didn't want to seal off and the fuel cell build pressure, during the race. So after the last practice, there's a nitrogen tank in the back of the garage area. Everybody's working on the car. Truly, the whole garage area is working on their cars, getting it ready for the race the next day. We've got, hour left before they kick us out of the garage area. And I reach over to the nitrogen tank, take the air hose, stick it in the vent, and I go, ch-ch, ch-ch, and it goes, boom. And I mean, Rick, people came out of cars for 20 stalls down, right?
You blew the fuel cell up?
It was, I couldn't even tell you. And the deck lid shut, right? And I quickly put the hose around, and I'm looking around, and everybody's looking around, and Peter Guile was under the hood working on the motor, and he leans back over the hood and looks back at me, because I think Peter knew what I was doing, right? And he just kind of shook his head. He kind of shook his head like that. And I'm trying to tell the guy, looking at the guys like, hey, just act like nothing's going on here. But the whole garage area knew something happened.
Yeah.
It was that loud. So we left it alone. And I had to go look and see how bad the damage was. So I walked over there, and I picked the deck lid up, and the cage that holds the fuel cell in is like mangled and ripped out. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, how are we going to fix that before the race without anybody seeing anything, without anybody doing anything? What's going to happen there? And all Peter could tell me was, you probably ruined the fuel pump. And I was like, Peter, change the fuel pump. You have no idea what I'm dealing with back here in the back.
I almost blew up the garage.
Right. So Pierre Coutel, extremely talented young man. He could fabricate. There's nothing the young man couldn't do, right? He's at Tesla now doing some incredible things.
Is he really?
Yeah, at the Tesla company.
Yeah.
So it's just another testimony to there is life after motorsports, right? It is not a chain link fence with barbed wire around it to keep you in. There's ways out. You can get out. And PK is another testimony to that. So I said, hey, PK, here's what I need you to do. We're going to put this thing in the hauler for the night, and I need you to spend the night in the hauler, and I need you to rebuild the cage and fix all the damage that's going to happen, and you're going to stay in the hauler overnight. And he goes, all right, boss, I got this.
Really?
And we pushed the car into the hauler, and PK stayed in the hauler all night long, fixed the fuel cell. When we got there the next day, went in the garage area like nothing happened.
Now, wouldn't you pushing the car back onto the trailer, wouldn't that have raised suspicions?
Back in that time, it didn't. There were a lot of people that put their cars back in the hauler
Okay.
because there were times that people thought there was tampering going on and things that were happening to their car overnight while it was in the garage area. So it was not customary, but it wasn't out of the question that people put their cars away for the evening. And that was one of the nights that we put a car away.
Okay.
That's not cheating, Rick, because we never got caught.
Okay. All right. Sounds good, man.